Hello again, guys. This is the second video, or the last topic that we're going to be covering in chapter 2, the last section, 2.4, and we're going to be talking about shifted series. Okay, first of all, what is a shifted series? It's a series that starts at a time other than the end of year 1. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, so in the ideal case, okay, so let me put here just some notes. The ideal case, okay, you will have your diagram. You would have year 0, 1, 2, and let's say all the way up to year n. So you have 0, 1, 2, and your year n. Okay, so in year 0, we have P. In year 1, this is where your A starts. Year 2, this is where your gradient starts. And in year n, or your last year, okay, you're gonna have your F. Okay, so this is the ideal case. But what happens when your cash flows don't start where they're supposed to start? That's when we have shifted series. Okay, for example, here. Okay, you have your P in year 0, but your A doesn't start until year 4. Okay, so you still have an A of $50, but you have a gap here. What do you do to solve this? Okay, so remember that your P has to start 1 year prior to your A. So what you are going to do is that you're going to have to convert all of this, because you cannot just move it to all the way up to year 0 because of the gap. So you would have to, like, first of all, discard this part for now. Come up with like an imaginary P 1 year before your first A. So you're going to construct your ideal cash flow even though you don't have it. So now, by taking into consideration like from years 3 to 13, here you would have your ideal cash flow. So this would be like your year 0. Okay, so you can renumber them if you want. Your year 0 and your year 1 where your A starts. So you are first going to find the equivalent P of the A's. How do you do that? Okay, so by using the factors, it's going to be 50. Find P given A 1%, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 will be your A. So it will be this part right here. Once you find the equivalent P for the A's, okay, you're going to, now you got rid of this one because all of this is equivalent to whatever any number that you got here. Okay, so now this one you're going to try to, well, we can say move it or find the equivalent P in year 0. Okay, so now the second step would be just focusing on these two. But now, okay, so I'll show you the example right now, but I hope that you can see it here. This one, if you want to move it here, it's no longer going to be a P. Now it's going to act as an F that you want to find the equivalent P for. So whatever number you have here, you're going to have to now multiply it times find P given F for the given interest, and now your N here, it's going to be 3 because you have 1, 2, 3 years of a distance. So if you put everything together, okay, you're going to have 2 factors here, but you'll see it better right now. In example 2.10. So let me pull out the example. Okay, open with Paint. Okay, here it is. An engineering technology group just purchased a new CAD software for $5,000 now and annual payments of $500 per year for 6 years, starting 3 years from now for annual upgrades. What is the present worth of the payments if the interest rate is 8% per year? Okay, what do we have? Okay, first of all, we have the $5,000 now. So this will be your P. My P, it's gonna be 5,000. And I'm just gonna put a note here that this is going on now. Now, you have annual payment, so it's already given to you that this is going to be an A. Okay, so my A is going to be 500 per year, and it says that it's for 6 years. Just gonna put as much information as I can. But it says that it starts 3 years from now. So that means that it's going to start in year 3. What else do we have? We have the interest. So my I is 8% per year. And what is it that we're looking for? The present worth of all the payments. So since we already have a P here, okay, I'm gonna make this one P total. Okay, this is what we're looking for, and we're looking for the total. Okay, if we were to draw this in a diagram, it would look something like this. Okay, so how many years do we need? Okay, so it's 6 years, but it starts in year 3. So I'm gonna have 8 years total. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 years. Okay, so we have, I'm gonna call this one P0. Okay, because it's a P that occurs in year 0. So we have a P0. Okay, you're paying for this. Okay, so because you're purchasing the software, so you have your P0 here. So P0 equals to $5,000. Then we have A that starts in year 3. So it's equal payments, 3, 4, 5, for 6 years. This is my A, 500, and we are looking for P total. So we are looking for P that includes this P plus the equivalent value of all of these payments in year 0. So I'm just gonna put it here going the other way, like just to differentiate it. We don't know, well, we're gonna get a negative because they're all negatives, but still we put it here. We include the interest, 8% per year. Okay, my recommendation here is, if you're trying to find something, like let's say if you're trying to find P, okay, or something in year 0, start by moving yourself to 0, but all the way from your right. If you were to look for F, okay, you're going to start in the opposite side. So you're going to start from the farthest left, moving all the way to the last year or F that you're looking for. Okay, so we're going to start moving from right to left. So we first need to get rid of these A's. Okay, we use a similar technique to what I showed you in the previous slide. Okay, so right now I am only going to take into consideration from year 2 to year 8. Okay, so from year 2 to year 8. Okay, why from year 2? Because remember that you start your first A, okay, in year 1. Okay, so 1 year after the present. So now we're going to it's going to be like if you had a present here. Okay, so let me redraw this. Okay, so you have, okay, so we're going to ignore this part for now. So you have your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you have your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so You have your cash flows here. You have the first day in year 3. So I'm just copying what's on the top diagram. Okay, so you have your A 500. Okay, now here we need a P. So we're also gonna have a P for these A's. That's why I put the A, that it's an unknown. So what we're going to be doing here, that we did on the other slide. Okay, so what you can do is that you can renumber them. So now this is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and year 6. What you're doing here is that all of these A's that you have here, you are finding the equivalent value okay, and you're finding P given A. So you're going to be using the factor find P given A. Okay, PA. Okay, it's like if you're finding the equivalent value, or also you can say that you're moving it to year 0, or in the diagram would be year 2. Okay, how do you do that? Okay, so by using, so now your PA, it's going to be equal to 500, find P given A, 8% interest that's given, and what's going to be your N. Okay, so in this case, well, let me add it here. Your N, it's going to be 6 years. Remember we said that your N is equal to the number of A's, so you have 6 A's here. Okay, so I'm going to put here that this is equal to the number of A's. Okay, so here you're going to have 6, and this is equal to 500, 4.6229, which is equal to 2,311.45. Okay, now even though here we got a positive number, it's just because we found the equivalent. So like to balance it out, we put the arrow going upward. Okay, we know that it should actually go downward because it's the equivalent of all of these negative cash flows. So in reality, this will be a negative cash flow. Okay, now what do we do after that? Okay, so now we calculated our PA here. Okay, so we already got rid of all of this, the A's. Instead, we found the value that goes here. Okay, so we can redraw this diagram without the A's. Okay, so how do you think that's going to look like? Okay, so you're going to have year 0, 1, and 2. In year 0, well, you copy what you have here. Okay, you have your P0 going down. You have your unknown PT here, and this is your 0, 1, and 2. And we said that in year 2, you're going to have your PA, but let's draw it going down. Okay, so here you're going to have your PA, which was equal to 2,311.45. Okay, now what are you trying to do here? We are trying now to move this one to year 0. Okay, it's supposed to be year 0. Now, this is no longer going to be a P because your P is in year 0. So this one right here, it's going to become an F, okay, in year 2. So now here you're going to find P given F. And what is your N in this case? My N here, it's going to be to years. Why? Because that's a distance, that's the number of years you want to move it. So it's 1, 2. Okay, so let me just write the instructions, like the observation. This is supposed to be a star. Okay, so PA becomes an F because we are trying to move it to year 0. Okay, so how do we move it? So if we're going to move it here, okay, we're going to get a new, well, let me put it going down. Okay, we're going to get another P for this one here, so I'm just going to call it, since this is PA, I'm just gonna call it PA prime. Okay, so your PA prime, so it's the present of PA, okay, or the PA in year 0. So your PA is going to be, we said that now it's an F, it's going to be F times the factor, find P given F, 8%. We said that the N is 2. Okay, we plug in the number, so this is 2,311.45. The factor should be 0.8573, and it's gonna give you 1,981.60. Okay, so this value, or this amount that we found here, it's what this would be worth in year 0, or your PA. Okay, now how do you calculate the total P? You're going to combine these two. So you're gonna combine the PA prime that you just found plus your PO. Remember, this one we don't do anything to it, so we don't multiply and times anything because it's already in year 0. Okay, so this one we don't need to move it anywhere. So that means that your PT, it's gonna be equal to P0 plus the PA prime, which is 5,000 plus the 1,981.60, which gives you a total of 6,981.60. Are we done yet? Yes, we are done. And this would be your final answer. Okay, so remember, if you have something like this, you have to do it in steps. The first step, okay, so first you draw the big picture. Everything, all of the information that it's given to you, even if it's not the ideal case. If you find a shifted series here, okay, so you cannot just convert the A all the way to here because you have this gap. Okay, so there was interest involved here as well. So that's why you cannot just go ahead and convert it directly. So you break it down into 2 parts. Let's tackle the A's first. Okay, so that's where we found our, we drew it ideally, like the ideal case, so we had to add a present here. Okay, so we can draw like a separate diagram just for this. We found the value of this one. Okay, so that means that we got rid of all of this, so we were just left with years 1 and 2, okay, which was this. Okay, so now this is the one that you found here. So now you were trying just to move this one to year 0 to find the P, okay, by doing this. Okay, so this becomes the F that you want to find the equivalent value in year 0 for. And then at the end, you just combine these two. This one, remember, we didn't do anything to it because it was already in year 0. Okay, so we just added the way it is. Hey guys, again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, so this would be the final answer for example 2.10. Continuing with the presentation. Okay, so 2.10. Okay, so this is what we just did. Now if you were converting to F, that would be a bit easier, okay, because you have your, like, not having P, so you have your F here, okay, and your A's that don't start in year 1. But in this case it's easier because you don't have like any gaps, you just have this that are not being used. Okay, so you can just like get rid of these or discard them, and then your diagram would look something like this. So you remember the whole thing, so you omit year 0, 1, 2, 3, and you just start counting from year 4 all the way to F. Remember, you start from the left. So you're gonna say year 0, so remember to add 1 year prior to your first day, and then you just count your A's or your N, which will be 1, 2, 3 all the way up to 10. Okay, so that's a little bit easier. Just a little bit more of information or a recap of what we did. If we want to find P, okay, if you have series and amount and single amounts, you're gonna well, if you're finding P, make sure that it's the first letter. Find P either given A or given F. Okay, if you want to calculate A, okay, you convert everything to P in year 0. So if you have A's, you either move everything to year 0, like what we did in example 2.10, or you move everything to F in the last year, like on the previous slides, like this slide right here. Okay, you can also find A, okay, by using the find A given P or find A given F. We said that then it's equal to the number of years for A, and that's pretty much what you need to remember for the shifted series. You have an assignment due next Friday. It's only 4 problems. Okay, again, the good thing about the videos is that you can rewind it, or you can watch it again, or you can just take the screenshot or write down the minute where you had the question, like pause the video, write the question, and then email it to me, making reference to the period of time where you had that doubt, and I'll reply to you as fast as I can. Thank you guys for listening to me, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye. Thank you.